Hello and welcome to our class on culture. Within our United Nations class, and we're going to be looking at the Model United Nations, and we're going to pursue some objectives together that will be necessary for you to participate in the Model United Nations.
Hourglass
model, okay, and we're going to be looking at United Nations and culture, okay, so what of the UN, okay, it's 3 minutes, it has cartoon, it is animated, and it easily identifies the main aspects of United Nations, voting, terminology related to voting, in a very simplified way. Then after the introduction and some talk together, we would do a word game. A word game with the United Nations vocabulary, okay? Then, for example, okay, in the video that we won't be showing here, but some of the words are, for example, to motion, to chair, to second something. So we can say, okay, let's look at the verbs, okay? So we can have the introduction with the video, discuss some of the vocabulary, have a word game. There is a word game associated with that, where you have to elaborate, for example, using a word spider, okay? After which, for example, we can do some closed practice, okay? Here is the area where we highlight the target language, and we focus on, for example, if that lesson is agreeing or disagreeing, or for example, in this case, we're looking at United Nations culture, okay? So we have activities, then we look at the language, then here, for example, in our what we call closed practice, we would do some activities, for example, a reading comprehension, where the students will, for example, something like this. For example, reforming immigration. Immigration is a very hot topic at the moment, but we have the reading, and then there is vocabulary. Okay, there is vocabulary expansion for 1 page of reading, for example. So we have a reading or a reading comprehension or a gap fill. We can have a gap fill where the students have to put in the correct words that are needed, that are associated with the work that we're doing, okay? Then after we've done some activities where the students can work in pairs but in closed and controlled fashion, so for example, whether it be debating, whether it be public speaking, where I give them a topic, for example, related to this, and they have to speak for 1 minute. In fact, here we have all our hourglasses for the talking and to get them practicing. So after this, we have the free practice, where the students can use the language that they have worked on up until this point, where they can actually do free practice activities. The free practice activities will normally include speaking, free role play, the free practice role play, writing, critical writing, for example, where the students are encouraged to put into practice what they have developed within the 2-hour lesson. Well, actually, at this point, we would probably be about 1.5 hours into the lesson, because this part here of the free practice should get bigger and bigger as time goes on, because the students will have more tools to better face all of these activities and use the words and speak more, which, going back to what we were saying, is part of our objectives.